Hello, Paint Pals. We are going to Antarctica this week in our Facebook group, Santorini Stones by Shelley. So I have a blemished Santorini stone, and I'm not going to force you to sit through endless video. This was 55 minutes of painting, and I cannot fit that much memory into YouTube, so we're going to speed it up and go along pretty quick. I'm taking different blues and blending them together. Do I have a rhyme or reason? Nope. I'm just playing around with it until I like it. Add some dark. If it's too dark, add some light, and so on and so on. Please keep in mind, I'm definitely not a professional. I just like to have fun with art. And since I tell you guys I would like you to challenge yourself, I challenged myself this week. This is my very first in my adult life attempt at painting realism. And what's even scarier is I'm going not off of a painting, but I'm going off of an actual photo. So believe you, I was very, very nervous doing this, but the whole point is to get outside of your comfort zone and try something new. So we have our little icy ground here, and I'm just going to pencil in my little icebergs and my penguins. I chose emperor penguins because I love their little pop of color, and I just really wanted to paint that. So I'm using chalk paint here to go over this acrylic. It's pretty dark, so chalk is going to be the best coverage ever. If you only have white acrylic, it works. Just going to need several coats. So I'm just putting in my mountains here. I'm doing the little penguin feet, but we're going to do some driftwood in front of their feet because I really wasn't into, I was thinking that this was going to be too long and I wasn't going to have time to do the feet, and I was absolutely right. So, let's see. I'm adding some more white chalk paint just to make this super bold white so you can't see through. And I took my pencil and went right over top of my penguin head so I don't do the background into that because I want them to be white. So I have a light gray here, and I'm just going in because you know how sometimes when you look at icy mountains, you see some gray. I don't know if I really like what I did here, but once it got done and I did my like icy line, I ended up liking it a lot. At this point, I really wasn't sure. But as we go along, we don't like it, and then all of a sudden we're done and we're like, hey, that's pretty cool. Give it a shot, you never know. So I'm just going to take my pencil here and go with my penguins, and I really chose this pose because it was just adorable. We're doing our love cruise. These little penguins are hugging each other, and I thought it was so sweet. So these are emperor penguins that are indigenous to Antarctica, which is really exciting because that's where we're going today and this week on our cruise, and I hope everybody is enjoying the onboard drinks in the middle of our stops. I sure am. So I'm just going to go through here with my light gray. This is the same gray I used in the mountains, but it's going to look different because I'm going to do a few coats. I'm going to do their little gray backs, and this isn't going to dry very nicely, so I'm going to hit that one more time again. And then there's my light blue. It's kind of like a sky blue, but on top of my white and my gray, it looks really icy. Going in with white chalk paint underneath just to blend that out so it's not a hard line and it looks more faded. This is where I ended up liking the icebergs a lot. I thought that blue added that exactly what it needed. So let's do their little bellies with chalk paint. I'm not even going to lie, I was scared to death doing this part because I never in my adult life, I'm sure, have ever tried to paint realistic penguins. Maybe when I was younger, I don't know, but if I did, it was only maybe once. So this was very nerve-wracking, but hey, it was fun. I really like the end result, and you never know till you try. So let's do some driftwood pieces right in front of their little feet, and that way we don't have to work on these little tiny web feet details or anything. If you want to work on that, rock on, but I knew that this was going to be extremely long, and I was just trying to cut details. Oops, I made a little boo-boo, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. I'm really glad that I didn't have to touch that up with paint because that was a mixture of paint, and I never would have gotten that right. So I'm just taking a few different browns and just playing around with it until I like it. I really like to find driftwood at the beach, so I thought that was a perfect addition. So let's go back over here with our little light blue. I'm just doing the upper edge because I've already faded it all, but I want that upper edge to be really dark. I like it. It's looking good. I've got Mars black, and penguins have quite a bit of black. Right here, I went way too thick with that beak, and I'm going to take another eyebrow, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to take another little tiny brush, and I'm going to go back with white and fix that up a little bit because I didn't write. Also, I want white underneath of the beak, especially on the bigger penguin on top, because we want that little line underneath where his orange beak is showing. There we go. His or her, I don't know. It could be he, she, I don't know. They really, really enjoy each other's company. That I know. So we have orange and yellow, and what I really loved about the emperor penguin photos was just this little pop of yellow. They don't have a whole lot of color, but the color is very bright, and I like that. So I'm just going to work on where I've kind of messed up that beak, but it's ending up really good. And then I've got the orange section underneath their beak, and then I really am starting to like this now. I'm like, okay, this is starting to look okay. So we're just going to keep going along with our details. I mixed a little bit of that orange and yellow just to give it that bold, bright pop at the top right underneath of that one's head. Then I have Copic multi-liners. These are available on Amazon. I pulled up Pinterest here, and I just got a silhouette of flying birds. Yes, we can all do the V shape, but why not add something else and try something new? So some of these I didn't really think were my best work. Some of them looked pretty cool. But we're over here trying new things and going outside of our comfort zone, so why not give something a shot firsthand on camera? You guys need to see that if you start something, you're not going to be a professional at it within 3 seconds, and that's completely fine, but that's the whole goal of the exercise. This isn't the best thing I've ever done in my life, but I liked it, and I tried it, and it was new, and it was pretty fun. So let's just take our fine liners. Of course, you want to let all this dry, because if you run your liners through wet paint, it's not going to turn out well. Just run right around your penguins and do whatever kind of little details that you would like. Of course, I didn't add eyes here because their heads are so dark you wouldn't have been able to see it. But you can do that with white if you want. Let's just add a couple of little furry places based on what I was seeing in the photo. It's not very realistic, but it's not really cartoon, so I did give it a shot. I think it's okay. And then let's just add a little heart because, you know, it's Valentine's month. Now, let's glitter this snow because you know that when you're looking at ice and snow, it's always glittery. So I have Craft Twinkles, and I got these at Joann. This one's called Crystal, and it's super cool. And there you go. Just putting glitter wherever I want. And then voila, we're done. Have fun. Do something new. And if you're like me, be brave enough to do it first on video. Thanks, everybody. Happy painting.